I'm Gilbert Cruz for Time.com, and I'm here with America Ferrera, star of ABC's Ugly Betty, which draws to a close on April 14th. America, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Our first question is from Lauren Moon from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Has playing Betty given you a different perspective on the role beauty plays in an average woman's life?
Absolutely. I think, playing Betty, I never for 4 years had to worry about what I look like, or, does this dress look too tight on me, or am I at a bad angle, or, all of those things weren't even, they weren't part of Betty's world, so they didn't have to be a part of mine.
Do you think anyone took me seriously? No. They mocked me. So from then on, I made
Did you eat onions for lunch?
So as an actor, to get to be in front of the camera and be free of all those inhibitions and all those kind of insecurities and kind of natural vanities that come along with being in front of a camera, there was complete freedom in that. And I could feel the difference between, playing Betty and then just going off on my hiatus and doing a film, and then having to be something that's a little closer to me. There's more vanity when it's representative of who you are. And Betty was just this, she was her own thing. She was this character who I could totally just get lost in and really explore, her and get lost in the fact that those sort of vanities just didn't exist in her world.
Our next question is, Ugly Betty made great strides in showcasing fully rounded minority characters. Do you think that the show has changed the way that network TV depicts minorities?
Well, I certainly think that this was a new depiction of a Latin family, one that you'd never seen on TV until now. A young Latina girl being the center of a network television show, that didn't happen. That just wasn't a reality, and now it is. And then, of course, there is the depiction of the character of Justin, Betty's young nephew on the show, and his entire journey of coming into who he is as a gay man or boy, because he's only 16 now on the show, and it's the end of the show. Mm-hmm. That character was a huge challenge to stereotypes, not just for men and boys, everywhere to relate to, but in the Latino culture specifically. It's so unaccepted in Latino culture, homosexuality, and to portray a Latino family that loves and supports and accepts this child for who he is incredibly groundbreaking, and then to see that through and watch his journey be about him accepting who he is versus his family accepting who he is, I think was a whole new way to see a family in general, a Latino family, and a young man.
With Ugly Betty coming to an end, what is next for you?
I think for now, in terms of acting projects, I think a break, a breath, and some sleep, which I desperately need. And there are some things that I've been behind producerially. I executive produced a feature called The Dry Land that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, that I also act in. I play the wife of a returned soldier from the war in Iraq. So that's going to be playing in film festivals, and I'll be traveling with it here in the U.S. and internationally as well. And acting-wise, just waiting for, not waiting. I finished Betty less than 12 hours ago. I think I just shot my last scene at 3:30 this morning. So.
Ooh, so you're exhausted. You finished your last scene at 3:30 this morning. How was that? Were you fraught? Was it full of emotion?
Yeah, the whole, that we knew the end was coming for some time now, and the whole last week of shooting was hard because it was, we were wrapping people, little by little. So every last scene with this character or in this location or, at Betty's desk and in Betty's house, and, it was all just emotional. It's been 4 years of a really big part of my life, and so, yeah, it was emotional, but I'm just so grateful for it and, excited about the future.
Have you ever stolen anything from wardrobe?
Well, that could get me in trouble, couldn't it? No, there's not a lot of Betty stuff that I'd like to take home with me, to be honest. To be fair, I mean, do you watch the show?
True.
But I would rather raid Vanessa Williams' closet or Becky Newton's closet. They've got all the fun stuff, except Betty does have really good shoes. I haven't stolen anything, though. Stealing's bad. Why would I do that?
America, thank you so much for taking questions from Time Magazine readers.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.